Well, welcome back everybody, and welcome to the Zenith 750 Super Duty build vlog. Today's going to be a short, quick, easy video. We're just going to finish up the parking brake and this center console. Hey, I just wanted to add, if you guys are looking for the products that I'm using in my videos, I usually try to put links to those in the description box below the video. So for example, this little part right here that holds the cable onto the parking brake valve, you'll find a link to that in the description box below. So I always try to add links to the stuff I'm using, just so if you guys are trying to find it, it makes it a little bit easier for you. So description box below, check it out. All right, let's get started. Well, you can see in here I have the push-pull cable for the parking brake mounted here. Notice it's on the right-hand side of the center console, and that is because the cable comes down on the right-hand side and it doesn't interfere with the rudder cables. So for now, it's not secured, it's just kind of sitting here. You can see the arm, or the cable going through the arm for the parking brake. So the only question now is I need to secure this cable, and really the only way to secure it is to this side frame part right here, this side of the center console. And I want to stiffen this up. Of course, nothing's connected yet, but this back end I'm going to rivet an angle here, and that'll help keep this stiff in the back. And then I did get a mount for this, but it's not going to work, and let me show you why. This is the mount for the end of that cable that I bought, and you can see that's the one I ordered right there. But it doesn't work because the cable is an odd size. This one is drilled out for a 3/16, and I think the only other one they had was for 1/4 of an inch. And my cable is bigger than 3/16, but smaller than 1/4. So what I did was I drilled this out to the next size drill bit above 3/16, but I kind of ruined it because now the hole in here is actually too big, and when you clamp these two nuts together, it won't clamp down on the cable and tighten it. So what I'm going to do is just use one of these. Simple, tried and true. This I'll mount on the side of that center console, and that will hold the cable. So I think the first thing I probably need to do is take that side console out and rivet an angle to the back of that to stiffen it up. Now for this side piece, I believe in the plans, they just call for rivets down here to hold these on. But you'll notice on mine, I have put nut plates on there because I want to be able to remove these in case I need to get to the wiring or something in here, or just whatever I need in the center there. I don't want those riveted on. So I added nut plates to the bottom of here, and now I can just put screws in here and hold them on. And you can see on the right side here, I have 2 of the 3 screws in there now, just holding it on. So to take this piece out, to put that angle on here, I'll just remove those 2 screws. Now in my giant box of aluminum, I happen to have one of these. I think it's a scrap piece, but that's what I'm going to use. It's a little bit long, but it'll go on here like this, and I'll just cut the bottom off. And then it's already got the holes already conveniently drilled in there. So I'll just match drill those holes into here. And then when this is riveted on here like that, you can see that'll go on the back, and it'll keep the back end stiff. And that parking brake cable comes down to and clamps right about here. So having this nice and stiff will just prevent this from bending and moving. I don't like to use a pair of metal shears to cut these L angles because it deforms the aluminum just slightly. I like to cut them on a bandsaw. And then once I cut them, I will file the edges smooth with a file. And once I'm done filing the edges, I'll clean it up with 400 or maybe even 320 grit sandpaper for a nice smooth finish. While I have this center console out and on the workbench, I just wanted to point out one thing. When I got my kit, it had this hole drilled and this hole drilled and nothing in between. And I just felt with having the push-pull and the switches and everything else on here, I wanted this to be a little bit more secure. So I just evenly spaced 2 more holes here. So you guys can do what you want on yours, but that's what I did on mine. They have 2 up top, they had 2 on the bottom, and I added these 2. All right, with this back in the airplane, you can see this is that angle I have back here. And what I'm thinking is, I still have to put that Adele clamp on here and screw it to here. But I think what I'm going to do is drill a hole through this part of the angle, put a bushing in there, and this will pass right through there, just to help guide it, I guess. And then the clamp I have back here will hold it in place. So I think that'll work nice. Now I just need to find where on here to drill that hole. Well, now I have the hole in here, but I don't have the right size grommet. So I'm gonna have to go get a grommet for that. But that's all I need for now is the hole. And now I can position that clamp. All right, I don't know if you can tell, but this clamp, if I put it up against the side of the aluminum, it kind of pushes that cable too far over. So I need a spacer in there, about 1/4 of an inch, to hold it right there, and that will be perfect. Luckily for me, I happen to have 2 little drawers full of handy dandy spacers. Here's what it looks like finished up. There's the cable. It comes down here. Here's my clamp. You'll notice I just used a regular nut and not a locking nut because obviously this comes apart for primer and paint. It'll go through this hole here with a grommet, up here to the parking brake lever. I'll cut this arm and then put the screw in here, and that's what holds this cable to this piece here. So that's the parking brake system. Pretty simple and easy. All right, so finishing up here, this is the center console. I have the Dynon D3, my Dynon intercom, the key, master switch, some other switch I haven't figured out yet, either the fuel pump or the avionics master. I have my dual USB charge point here. And what I like about this one is when you connect power to it, it has this little window where it digitally displays your voltage. Even though it'll be on the Dynon screen, it's kind of cool to see here. I have my parking brake cable and my fuel selector valve from Aircraft Specialty, and that's looking pretty good. Well, that's all I have for you on this episode. I did get my bolt for my center torque tube. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can watch the last episode. Also, you can see I got the last 2 pink foam pieces of insulation on the hangar door, so that project is done. Now I'm 100% focused on the Super Duty, and we are making progress. So make sure you subscribe, give the video a thumbs up if you don't mind, and I'll see you again on the next video.